Hey, everybody. Welcome to Cryptids and Conspiracies, where the truth is in the middle. Now, we're going to be short one parkour tonight. Our friend Abby has better things to do, evidently. So I think it's a Valentine's Day thing. So I guess it can be excused. I don't know. But anyway, he's not here, wherever he is doing whatever. He has threatened to be in the chat, ragging us, so that might happen. I don't know. But let me bring on my partner in crime, this guy.
Sir, nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
That's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. And this gentleman is probably the next who I should bring on. This guy.
Hello. Hi, y'all.
All right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Well, that's I never get used to the English people, denizens of the English Isles, referring to themselves as us.
That's a good
Is
point.
that like a pronoun thing? Is it like they them or something?
It's better
like that?
than no. Us is good.
Thank you for having me. Me,
No,
myself,
what's that
and
hard?
I.
What's that hard?
Me, myself, and I.
Okay, all right.
Me, myself, and I.
I don't know. You
Oh,
could
what a
be
good song
schizophrenic
that
for
was.
all I know. You could be
Me,
just
myself, and
schizophrenic.
I.
I don't know.
A
It could be a
schizophrenic.
literal
Yeah,
us.
yeah. I argue with myself all the time. It's brilliant.
But it's okay unless you start winning. Yeah. Yeah, that gets problematic.
What?
Anyway.
Wookie Fever says
alrighty.
that's okay. What? Wookie says that's okay.
Wookie says that's
well.
okay. All right.
That's okay. Yes. Wookie
All right.
says.
No problem. All right. So tonight we're going to cover the, would you say the most famous alien abduction story? Would you call it the most famous?
By far.
Okay. Yep. So the married couple, what are their names? Barney and
Barney and Betty Hill.
But yeah, I think they're second place. But the fact that I couldn't recall their name right off the top of my head kind of shows that. But yeah, this is the most famous, and it's the only one that has ever had like a movie made of it. Yep. All right. Now, this is back in 1975, December. Some bunch of loggers were driving back. This is actually November 5th, 1975. And they were in Apache Sitgreaves National Forest near Heber, Arizona. You're about how close are you to Heber?
That is on the northeast side of Phoenix.
Okay.
So it's probably about a 5-hour drive from me.
Right.
One way.
Yeah. I didn't know that Arizona had any forests until. Arizona has forests. Okay.
We get some good snow too up in that area there. But
well, I knew you had like mountains, but I didn't know you had like forests. So okay.
Yeah,
It's not just a desert after all.
No, I live in
the
the desert.
Oh.
I live in the low rent area of the state. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But,
Okay.
But no, yeah, it's
Yep.
B-Dog in the house.
Okay. Hola, B-Dog.
B-Dog.
Hello, Cotton.
And he was the most famous, who was Travis Walton.
Yeah.
And Fire in the Sky guy. The Fire in the Sky guy. Yes.
Don't worry, I've not seen the film, so
It's actually pretty good. It's got some good actors.
It's worth a watch. Now Travis, who's one of the things I like about Travis is that anytime he corrects people, he always corrects them on the less like the less glamorous or the less Hollywood like version of it. And you don't find that often. People that are like telling big stories, they kind of like make the story bigger over time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Would you say that's pretty accurate?
Oh yeah,
Well,
embellish it. Uh-huh.
yeah. They kind of like raise their role in it, or they make themselves bigger than they were, or they make everything more exciting, you know. And well, he said that the Fire in the Sky movie was way too Hollywood, and it made things a lot scarier than they were, and it made the aliens more sinister than they were.
Yeah.
And so I always thought that was a little kind of unique in that if you really wanted to like make money off of this, then having the aliens be as scary as possible seems to be the better way to go with it. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I saw
time. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I saw some clips of the interview he did with Joe Rogan. So yeah, he was saying that if anything, he was being more violent towards the aliens than they were to him, effectively.
Yeah. Well, I got clips of the first interview that he did. I got a 2-minute clip, so I don't get gacked by YouTube. But what you'll find interesting, and I tried to get the same 2 minutes of the story from Joe Rogan, but I couldn't get the clip. But I guess Joe Rogan has a lot higher pay count, you know, so it didn't want to parse for me in time. But basically, this story that he tells is the exact same story he told in Joe Rogan. It's not changed like at all. So those of you who know the Joe Rogan version of it, listen to this and tell me if I'm being right. So this is the first 2 minutes of the first interview that he did. Here you go.
Well, the first part has been told by all the witnesses that recount my view of that. We just finished working because it was getting dark. We packed up to leave, and we all got in the truck and we were riding up the road, and we looked off to the right side of the road, and I saw a glow that I thought was a sunset or something. I was about to comment when we came past the thicket that we were looking through to where we could see more clearly, and we saw a UFO hovering in the air about 30 yards off to the side of the road. Everybody started yelling, and they stopped the truck, and I wanted to get a closer look, and I got out of the truck and I started over there. Everyone was yelling that to come back and to stop. I stopped and looked back, and somebody called my name, and I turned back around, and it started to make a noise and started to move, and I took one step. I crouched down behind the log that was there, and just as I started to raise up, I was just going to stand up. I didn't have any intention of going any closer, but it was just as if I was struck. It was kind of a physical blow to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say there was maybe a bit more details in the Joe Rogan one, from what I recall.
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw clips of it, so.
Well,
it wasn't the whole thing.
When he did that first interview, as you heard, like truck sounds in the background,
Yeah.
he was doing it Yeah, he was doing it basically by the side of a road. I mean, he really didn't want to tell his story, but it gotten out and it was all over the place, and so he was like reluctantly trying to tell the story because it was being embellished and people were adding to it, and he wanted to get it out there, and but watching the Joe Rogan interview, there's like details that he gives on both interviews. This one, like within days of him being like rediscovered, him showing back up, and the Joe Rogan one, and I've like sampled across, multiple like conferences, multiple podcasts, multiple just interviews and things like that. And he always like tells the exact same story without embellishments. And as a matter of fact, when somebody embellishes it or somebody like gives him a detail that's not right, he will correct it. Now, one of the things that when they go to like give people like they want to interrogate somebody, and there's like several techniques they use. Okay, now they will recite a story back to someone wrong deliberately, and see if they get corrected.
Okay.
So if they don't get corrected, and then that means that the person is like the basically the story is like not set in stone. That it's being recalled, it's being made up, not recalled. When you recall something, you have concrete facts; they don't change. And in this case, he has kept like really solid all the way through. How would you describe the typical alien abductee?
Me?
Either you or Wookie, if Wookie wants to actually speak.
Well, they're usually a bit nuts, quite frankly.
I
would say
would you call them the most stable people? Go ahead.
Yeah. I would say that they're usually seem a bit nuts. I mean, I'm not aware of any alien abductees over here, so I don't know.
You're going to have people that are probably frustrated because people don't believe what they're saying. They're going to be a little frustrated. They may have some what you would consider to be elements of PTSD if they've been abducted, whatever. So there's certain things that might cause them to have a manic episode or something like that, just things like that. And and over time they'll be able to control it. But they try to basically make sure that people are talking about the correct things and not, like you said, embellish stuff.
What about go ahead.
What I thought was pretty unique was that he mentioned in the Joe Rogan one that he's been to different conventions and people have brought up other alien events and they're taking people away, they're dismembering them and blah blah blah, and he just said, well, who can you name a victim? But they couldn't. They would always say, oh, it was so and so that was talking about it, blah blah blah. He's like, no. Can you name a victim? Never, none. So that was pretty interesting.
Travis, Travis has gone around and he's acted as a debunker for and that's really a unique thing that's unique to Travis. It's kind of like Harry Houdini. Okay, Harry Houdini would go around and debunk magicians and faith healers and people like that,
psychics and whatever.
Right, and he would like tell people how they make the donuts, he
was really good at it too.
yeah, they hated his guts. They
hated his guts. Yeah,
some people think that they hired the guy that like punched him solar plexus.
Yeah.
I am Count Dracula. Trust me, there are no vampires.
Right. Well,
One
well,
vampire.
but
Two.
the thing about him is that is he, most of the people that are like, alien abductees, they tend to be flighty, they tend to be unstable, they tend to be very imaginative. And they tend to be people who in the past, before the incident, were people that like told stories,
Right.
or
Okay.
or were kind of like on the artsy side, That's Barney
really?
and Betty Hill were exceptions. They lived a very sedentary life, and then what happened to them, kind of came out after hypnosis or whatever.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, it was very, very traumatic for them when it was brought out. Very traumatic.
Right.
Well, that was something he brought up, and Joe Rogan as well, was the fact that, and Joe mentioned it as well, is that people can have false memories appear when they're under hypnosis.
Hypnosis. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a possibility, and that's what he thought, that people might be misconstruing some of these things.
Yeah.
Or misinterpreting what happened.
Well, I basically I was with a group of people when I was in college, and they always like to screw with me, and and so they would choose a movie that they thought would screw with me.
Mess with you? Oh, never.
Yeah. Because I was a good little Christian boy, and they're all a bunch of brilliant atheists who knew how the world really works, right? And so
all them heathens.
And so whatever they could do to like screw up with my worldview, they would. And like one movie, they took me to a midnight showing of The Wall, Pink Floyd's The Wall, and I understood it more than they did, which was hilarious. Because all of them had their parents, and so they didn't understand that the whole thing was a breakdown over his father dying before he was born. And I understood that, but they thought it would screw with me, and it didn't. And another one they took me to was Fire in the Sky, and
I see.
And I remember watching it and thinking it was kind of like just a horror movie, and it was like based on a true story. I was like, oh, what? This was pre-internet, before you could like just look stuff up. And, and so I filed it away for a while, and then I did a show with Cannabis and Conspiracies about it, and it kind of like brought it back up. What's that? Belmont, right? This guy's like one of Belmont's heroes, Belmont like talks about him a lot.
There you go.
I wanted to get Belmont on tonight, but he's got a little baby now, so
he's doing the daddy duties.
Up with that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's doing daddy duty. But when it comes to Travis Walton, the really odd thing about Travis Walton is that he doesn't promote himself like at all. He basically puts it out there that if you want to talk to him, he'll come and talk to you. But this isn't like his whole only thing. He actually works a job, and he holds a job down. He's and he actually, most of the time when somebody does something like this, they make it their whole entire world. They make it their identity. I was the one that was abducted.
Get the movie, get the movie rights, get the book deal, and all that. Yeah.
Welcome, David Draws, to the chat.
All right, David.
Hey, welcome.
Hello.
Hey, David. Go ahead and tell us how great he is. You always.
I have no idea. I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyway,
well, there's one of them that's an artist, and you always like gush over him for about 5 minutes after
look who's showing
up. Well. Look who it is.
Look who's showing up.
Prophet.
The Time Prophet. Welcome, Time Prophet.
And here we go.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, so
right.
but basically, he essentially, when they ask him to show up, he shows up. When he's asked to be on a podcast, he shows up on a podcast. But for the most part, no, different Waltons. But for the most part,
right.
yeah, for the most part, he just basically he doesn't like push it, and
Right.
right. But when he's asked, he'll come and talk, But that's one kind of a unique thing about him in that this isn't like his whole entire world. He he's famous, but he's famous for this, but that's not like his whole entire thing. And that's also unique to him. Now his abduction. There's a few features of his abduction that are odd. Travis Walton is the Fire in the Sky guy. Look it up.
Yeah, the movie from 1993, Fire in the Sky. Check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen clips and reviews of it. I haven't actually seen it.
Yeah. Well,
I had the great fortune of watching it with my first ex-wife.
Wow.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
After that, I was hoping that she would have been abducted.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know who these people are that we feature on our shows, we tell you. If you just shut up and listen long enough. Okay. So, hey,
But
we're
you
informative.
don't.
We're being informative.
But you don't. No, shut up and listen.
All right. It's not our responsibility for you to know the subject before you show up. That's why you're here, right? Anyway. All right.
Yeah.
So, okay. We get this all the time, and it's like, okay, well, if you just stay there long enough, we'll tell you. It's like with the Killdozer guy. It's like, Tom Prophet's like, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is, and just wanted to dominate the chat, saying how he didn't know who that is. Well, if you just shut up and listen, you'll find out. Okay, all right. That's what we're here for.
Pay attention. We tell you.
Anyway,
we'll tell you what it is.
All right. So one of the features of his alien abduction that happened in 1975, November the 5th, in the middle of the night, was that he doesn't feel like abducting him was the point. Basically they were there to refuel. That particular part of the forest got a lot of lightning strikes, and he said he talked about this on Joe Rogan, but it's really highly charged area that for some reason lightning strikes there like all the time. And he thinks they were there to refuel. And a lot of people have seen have alien sightings in this area. So his brother actually saw one before him about 2 or 3 weeks, I think. It might have been months, but while he was deer hunting. Yeah. But anyway, so what he thinks happened is they were there refueling, and Doofus him got out of the truck. Yeah, whatever. But Doofus him got out of the truck and went over for a closer look, thinking it was going to fly off. And everybody in the truck was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Yeah,
well,
he's
is what happened. Go ahead.
He was kind of known for being a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. He would do some really crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. Like there was a time when a bear ended up in the road and he jumped out and chased it off. Yeah. So he was known for doing just crazy stuff.
He also said that they were all hopped up on adrenaline, but because they were at the end of a shift. When you work hard and the end of the shift, you're still like wired up, and he said that's one of the reasons he probably jumped out. But this is what happened next.
Oh yeah, they were freaking out pretty hardcore there. No doubt.
I recognize all of those actors.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Elliot in the back seat? Where's E.T. at? In the ship?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Elliot.
Well, so all these hardened loggers came barreling out of the woods in a truck, swearing that they left Travis behind after he got struck by a light from an alien craft. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people were calling bullshit, and when they took a crew back up there to find him, he was nowhere to be found. They had a whole bunch of people wanting to like take them in for murder. His brother went up there to dig around to try to find the body, and these guys were like in deep shit. Okay, and none of them were broke. None of them said that they, moved away from the story. Okay, and there was a guy that didn't even like Travis that had gotten in a fist fight with him, like days before, like a week before, I think, and he was there. He was the one they thought may have killed him, and so he was under a lot of scrutiny, and yet. He was like, I don't know what happened, but he told the story. Okay. Now, 5 days later, it's actually 5 days and 6 hours later, according to the account I read. He calls his brother from a phone booth in Heber, which is like the next city over or whatever. And when he got picked up, his story was that he woke up inside the craft, a craft flying away, and he didn't react very well to it. Said there was aliens standing over him, and he started like swinging at them and being aggressive, terrified, and that, and he said they looked at him like they were annoyed. And he when he reflects upon it, he thinks he's like the dog that got hit by the car, that they like took, like they had to, like, they felt responsible to take it to the veterinarian or something. And he said, well, they left, they kind of like tisk and left. And then these other aliens came in that looked more humanoid, and they were like different, but they were more humanoid, and they like took him somewhere and did some stuff to him to fix him up, and he was having trouble breathing and some other stuff. And later on, they discovered that he had how many broken ribs was it, Wookiee, that were healed?
I don't remember.
Well, he had broken bones all over his body that were healed, and so he believes that they healed him because, but he was abducting him wasn't the point. He thinks they were there to refuel, and this doofus got underneath them when they did when they were flying off, and got hit by their backwash, and it damaged them. And these aliens kind of like, all right,
shit. We hit the dog. We got to go take it to the,
bring him aboard. We'll fix him up. And then, but he thinks, honestly, he was disappointed that he didn't think to like communicate with them. But he believes that they were just like fixing him to kind of like, not out of any curiosity, not out of anything, but he feels like it was just them splinting the leg of the dog that they hit, and it just so happens they had technology that healed him from several life-threatening injuries that were discovered later.
Very quickly. Yeah.
This wasn't a trailer park, so I don't know where that came from.
Out in the middle of the woods.
Anyway.
They like that.
All right. They were rednecks. They were rednecks, but they weren't trailer rednecks. Anyway. All right. So bottom line is, he was like left by the side of the road, and then they just flew off. No preamble, no, I'll be there, I'll be here, or nothing sentimental. They just kind of like put him to sleep, and he woke up by the side of the road. And he walked up the road, found the gas station, and called his brother. And he's never, in all the years since '75, he has never varied that story, like at all. Now he's changed some details that he recollects now, and I when you have a very traumatic something that happens to you, details you'll as the years go by, you'll remember more details than when you were there when it happened, and that's a natural phenomenon in your brain that kind of protects you until you can like process information. If you've had like something really traumatic or really something that completely tears you out of frame, then later on you actually recall more information later than you do initially when it first happens to you, and all these years.
I suppose it's a process. It's a process, isn't it? It's a process.
Yeah.
Recollection. Yeah.
Right. But there's been some details that has never altered, like at all. And Earth parkours are easy. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, B-Dog. Appreciate it. But basically, there's some details that haven't changed at all. Doesn't depending on the when you see an interview with him, it'll be the exact same narrative. It'll be the exact same thing, and he's been on like, yeah. Well, you also don't have any land in Britain either. So,
but they got a lot of Pakistanis.
Yeah, they got a lot. They got aliens, so they just don't have like space.
They don't have the gray aliens.
Right.
They don't have. They just got rapist third world aliens, but they don't have like space aliens. Anyway.
I never said it. I never said nothing.
Come get me, Keir Starmer. Anyway,
yeah, that's right.
Yes, aliens from outer space. Please abduct us, please take us away.
There you go. All right. Well, they do anal probes, but I don't think it's legal exactly. But anyway, all right.
Who put you up in your butt?
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
Well. Look who it is. It's the slacker. In the comments.
Whatever.
There he is.
All right, that requires me to play this.
Is that what you're telling me?
One per show, and he's not even here.
Yeah, yeah, he earns it. Hey, Shadowhawk, what's up, dude?
Wait, I have already debunked it. Yeah. I figured you would.
Golly, the shock.
But anyway, now the reason why he's back in the news is because one of his witnesses, one of those men that were in the truck.
Mr. Rogers.
Let me make sure I get the right one. Mike Rogers. Yeah.
Yeah.
The father-in-law. I mean, the brother-in-law. That the one that was yelling at him to get in the truck. He recanted for a little while, but it was only after he found out that Travis was involved in a rebooted movie. And he hadn't been informed of it, and his likeness was going to be in the movie, and it made him mad. And suddenly he's going over, and suddenly he's going around and saying that it was all a hoax. They used the spotlight from a forestry tower, to spotlight him and make everybody else think that that this was an abduction. Now, what happened was he did this for just a few months, and then he and Travis like reconciled, and then suddenly he goes back and this is you have to understand, all of these men have passed polygraph after polygraph after polygraph over the years, lie detector test after lie detector test. I think Travis said he's passed 19 lie detector tests. Every time the technology proceeds and gets better, he'll go and take another one. And
Yep.
And so Mike Rogers also has taken multiple lie detector tests, and so but he basically, after they had the conversation, this is in 2021. He says, "I'm no longer to be considered a witness to Travis C. Walton's supposed abduction. Travis tried to keep a new remake of a movie a secret from me. He has always had his big secrets that he's kept from me. It angered me. I tried over the last 2 weeks to reason with him, but no avail. I don't believe Travis is an honest person. Therefore, I want nothing to do with him." However, but he said on April 30th, he placed a call to producer Ryan Gordon, who's working on a new film about the Walton incident. Gordon recorded the call without his knowledge, as permitted by Arizona law. But 2 months later, on July 4th, Gordon publicly posted audio from the call, which featured Rogers explaining, "We were talking in the woods one day. We were talking about creating a UFO hoax, and I don't know how the UFO got there, but I remember when I was driving the truck, he jumped out. It was all deliberate. It was all staged thing, okay? He ran up there, and there was something about the UFO not being real, though it looked real." And then later they reconciled, and Rogers issued a statement retracting his confession. And so since then, even though Travis Walton has like built up all this, goodwill, he's built up all this reputation from telling the exact same story for years and years in a row, with just enough variations and of new recollections, but nothing really drastic that changed anything. And all these men, all these years, clarified that they saw him. Like, go ahead, just bring it up. Just post it. Just post it.
It won't go. What's going on?
All right. I
can't bring it up. What'd you do? Block me out?
I didn't block you. I didn't block Dick.
Then why the hell can't I post? I'm clicking on it like a madman at a casino and won't freaking move.
StreamYards, YouTube.
Maybe. All right, let me get it.
I don't know.
Let me get it. Just the one?
No. There we go. Did it work?
All right.
Yeah, I don't remember when Mary Lou got in. Bro, loser people. Don't know how you missed that episode.
You haven't been posting any of this shit. What are you doing? What are you doing over there? All right.
Leave me alone.
You got one job, man. You got one freaking job. I'm like running clips. I'm like hosting the show. I'm like keeping cruel.
And I just turn up. And I just turn up.
Get him entertained.
Hey.
All right. Anyway. Okay.
But he's not.
All right.
abused.
So.
No.
All right.
So
anyway.
Yeah, that was funny that with that
All
Mike
right,
Rogers guy,
ahead.
he got a little pissed off at Travis for him being involved in a remake of the movie.
Right.
And, obviously he was only pissed off because he wasn't told. So therefore, they weren't going to cut him in on a piece of the action, apparently.
Yeah.
And so I think he just got a little pissed off and decided to, we're going to mess with him. And so started saying, that what happened was a hoax and all this other crap.
He basically submarined the project because the only way that that project was going to go forward as if on Travis Walton's credibility, and so if he wanted to destroy the project, that's the way you destroy the project, and so
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But the weird thing about it is you see over and over again where Travis passes the polygraph. One of the other guys had a iffy polygraph score, and they keep going back to that one polygraph score that was iffy.
It said it was
even though he went
inconclusive.
back later and passed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it just was inconclusive. And then, but he was saying that he was on drugs at that time, and he didn't want to tell anybody. Then he goes back and he passes it
Hello,
the next
Brian.
time flying colors.
Not Brian.
All
how's
right.
it going?
How's it going?
But it's like Wikipedia is like all in on this. Like it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. So if that tells you anything, but and they're saying it's a hoax off of this one guy getting butt hurt and recanting his testimony, which he's passed multiple polygraphs saying is true, and has maintained all these years. But a movie project comes up that he doesn't get a piece of, and so he decides he's going to submarine it, and
conveniently,
right?
Conveniently, yeah.
And suddenly he's like, "Oh, it's a hoax! It's a hoax!" But nobody has been able to prove that what they saw was possible because the tower that he's talking about is almost 3/4 of a mile away.
Right.
And so the light that struck him was way too. I mean, I've seen spotlights only have like a certain amount. I mean, even with thousands of lumens, they only reach so far.
Right.
And they're not going to reach with that much brightness. And so the whole thing just, to me.
Well, then too, the diameter of the beam itself is going to be almost, it's going to be huge by the time it gets to him from that distance. There's just no way. It's almost going to be dissipated, and then the circumference of the beam is going to be so large. It
might be more technologically possible to do that now, but
right
back in the 70s, I doubt they had the technology, the light technology to do that then.
Right.
No, they can do it. They can do it now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, probably could do it now.
Yeah.
Well, with the focusing technology and the what is those called? They're not light bulbs. They're diodes. They're anyway. But those
LEDs.
are like LEDs. Yeah, and they're way brighter than a light bulb is, and so.
Right.
I've got like a mag light, and I've got a little tiny lumen or LED lumen, and the mag light's not anywhere near as bright, and it has like a traditional bulb. And so there you go. Anyway, so okay, so right. Anyway, but basically, he has actually talked to like engineering students that study like accounts of flying saucers and things like that, and they were really interested in to hear what he recalled about the sound of it, and and so they kind of like asked him blind what was the sound of it, and it met all their observations of other famous flying saucer accounts, and so it seems like over and over again, there you go, not lying, fade to black, roll credits. Now we got a show here, Abby.
It was
the one that you're laying out of. Okay,
I know. It was what was quite interesting was the fact that he mentioned that there was a alternative brain pattern not long afterwards, and obviously that eventually dissipated because he went back later to get another brain scan that was gone.
Yeah,
I think he was curious to see if other people who had maybe been struck by lightning or some sort of other energy discharge had the same sort of brain pattern. not long after.
Yeah, I believe he said that normal brain activity is like like really tight lines, and his brain activity was almost a wave.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was a lot more calmer after he got back than he had been before. And so he was wondering if they artificially changed his brainwave pattern to keep him calm,
Well,
because when he started out.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, he was basically an adrenaline junkie and a daredevil before the incident. Afterwards, he's really mellow and subdued.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there was some sort of significant change that occurred to him. To go from one extreme to the other.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe they mellowed him out.
Yeah.
Well, when they first woke up and the other aliens were standing over him, he started swinging at them and started like being really aggressive. And
what he said was he actually he didn't even hit one that hard. It was just like a wee like a brush, and it kind of toppled and went into one of the other ones. They were quite light on their feet, I guess. Not exactly, but not muscular at all.
Well, he said he kind of like said they looked disappointed, like or disgusted, like like he was an animal or something, and his biggest regret from the whole thing was that he didn't try to communicate with them, and that he thinks he could have learned something that he could have brought back to humanity, but they basically just wanted to get him fixed up and get him the hell out.
Get him out.
Their space.
Yeah. Kick him out.
Yeah. Fix him up and get him the hell out of their spaceship.
Yep.
Well,
but anyway,
since they were thinking, his theory was that they were refueling of somehow on obviously the area. What's the second most lightning strike area? I think the Everglades was the other one, but what was pretty interesting was the crystals that can form, when lightning hits the ground. So I was just kind of curious as to what the theory was there. Are they harvesting the lightning or the crystals that are formed for fuel, perhaps? So that's what I was wondering.
One interesting note that I heard. I've not heard it anywhere else, but I heard it on Mr. Ballin, and he talked about this 4 years ago on his channel, and according to statements from Mike Rogers and a couple of the other people, there were people there when they were searching for him and they couldn't find him, but they were at the area. So apparently there were some people there with Geiger counters. And they they Geiger counted the guys, but they'd already changed their clothes and everything, so there was nothing there. But in the truck were all their hard hats. So he grabbed a hard hat and it went off the chart.
Yeah.
And then these individuals that were there with the Geiger counters all hightailed it the hell out of there.
Right.
They also said that the paint on the truck door, that one of them had the door open to try to go get Travis, but then when the thing took off and Travis got kicked back, the guy like closed the door, and he said the paint on the that door peeled. And it didn't
peeled up
nowhere else. Yeah. So that's another thing. But anyway,
Cochran in the chat. Chester Bennington.
Hello,
Conspiracy.
Christina. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, also, if we do that, we'll also have to do the lead singer.
Why does that ring a bell with me? The Bennington Conspiracy.
Well, because the conspiracy is that he was working with Chris Cornell on child trafficking, and Chris Cornell died, and then a year later he died, and so
Pizzagate. essentially.
Yeah.
Pizzagate.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so basically, this situation, it created a bomb, and they had to before we blow ourselves up. Well, the bomb was created way before the Travis Walton incident.
Yeah,
so
it was.
Luminous.
Well, I think
Salem.
they said that the outside of the ship. So, well, I think it
Oh,
said
my
that
God.
the ship's exhaust was radioactive. Anyway.
Possibly.
Yeah, and that's
It
what
was.
you know. What in typical
Anyway.
sightings, of a landed craft or a craft that have been witnessed hovering above ground and in close proximity, there's been high readings of the area. There's been burn marks, and nothing will grow. If it's landed somewhere, there'll be a void there for a long, long time while nothing will grow. And it could have been heavily vegetated, and then all of a sudden it's just a bare patch of dirt. And in some cases,
and the same thing happened. The same thing happened at the site where the ship took off. There's no vegetation growing up there.
Yeah, it's just dirt.
Yeah.
See you later, Abby.
All right, see you, Abby. Just make sure you leave your undecided vote before you go.
There you go. Have a good one.
Just leave your undecided vote before you go. Anyway. All right. So speaking of votes, let's go ahead and do our votes. All right. So the question is Travis Walton a liar? We would take out one confirmed because that's time profit, and he's always going to do the same vote over and over again.
Yeah.
But the rest of you, go ahead and vote in the chats, mine and Wookie's, and We'll go ahead and close that out in about 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ending the poll.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. So I got 3 votes, 2 for debunked, 1 for in the middle. All right, that works. Thank you.
I made it very simple. I got off the beaten track because I was in a hurry to put the poll up. So I made it a simple yes or no.
Okay.
Is Travis Walton lying? Yes or no? And I have 5 votes. I have 3 for no, he's not lying, and 2 for yes, he is lying.
Well, there you go.
So that would be
debunked.
3 votes for debunked. Yes.
Yep.
And 2 votes.
So Travis is not a liar, which is means that it's debunked. Okay.
No.
What say you guys? Do you think he's lying?
No.
I
think he's telling the same story over the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah. I typically find these things to be a heap of crap, and would normally say that it's debunked. But in this case, no, I don't think he's lying at all.
Okay, so you say debunked then? Okay.
What?
Well,
no, I'm saying
the question is Travis Walton a liar? So confirmed would be yes, he is a liar. Debunked is no, he is not.
No, he's not.
He's not lying. No, normally I'd say he is, but I just don't. I don't think so.
All righty. So here on Cryptids and Conspiracies, we are going to say he is not a liar, which means debunked.
Well,
funny about the Mike Rogers situation that happened in 2021, and he called somebody, and that's how it all happened. Really, that leaked out was he called somebody and they recorded it.
He called the producer of the movie.
And in the state of Arizona,
I just read that.
He recorded. Yeah, he didn't know he was being recorded. So
yeah,
and in Arizona it's legal, and so and then he leaked it. But he didn't recant, and then apparently some time later, with speaking with Travis, he decided to recant his negative comments, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but
quite interesting.
But all the people that won't discredit Travis Walton got their ammunition, and they've been using it ever since. So,
oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I've got a little bit of I gotta close the loop. So last week we decided that is Lee Harvey Oswald a lone gunman, and we all decided that was debunked. So
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Right. That's right.
I actually think there were 3 shooters besides Oswald.
Right. Because
well,
there was that
what's that Files? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Was the shot
what's that Files interview?
Kirk,
There's
so.
2 of them. Yeah. Yeah, what's the Files interview? Both of them, they're still online, which surprises me. And also another guy who actually set up the rifles. And both of them say Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy and completely, totally wouldn't harm a fly. And the cop was killed by another hitman that was down there to kill Lee Harvey Oswald after it was over and make him the cop accosted the wrong guy and he killed him. So that's all online, and it's all about to come out in the JFK files. But it was a collaboration.
That's going to be interesting.
Yes, a collaboration between the CIA, FBI, and the mob.
Yeah,
the mob.
The mob provided the mob provided the hitmen, the FBI provided the logistics, and the CIA provided the personnel and set it up. So,
and funding.
And the funding, yeah. Probably through USAID.
Yeah.
Which Kennedy signed, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
It was an executive order from Kennedy. So
yeah.
Ironic that.
Then too, also you have to the Secret Service had to have some part to play, because that was the first and last time that the President of the United States has ever been in an open top limo.
Yeah.
See, there's a bulletproof accessory that went over the top of that, where it was some sort of a plexi or bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
Or
like the Pope mobile, like the Pope.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Right. And but for some reason, it was taken off of the car. I don't think Kennedy had anything to do with it. And then it was something to do with the Secret Service detail also being shuffled around and some weirdness there.
Well, the funny thing about it is the military-industrial complex was pissed off because he's pulling them out of FBI or out of Vietnam. Yeah. And the CIA and FBI were pissed off because of the Bay of Pigs incident, which they worked on. And the mob was pissed off because RFK Sr. was going after the mob really hard.
After the mob hard. Right. He was. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Lyndon Johnson.
They were wanting to take out Castro as well. They were wanting to deal with Castro too. So. Yeah,
that's what the whole Bay of Pigs thing was. But Kennedy caught wind of it and pulled out, and kind of left them high and dry. And so a lot of them were pissed off about that. And oh, by the way, Jackie Onassis said that Lyndon Baines Johnson was behind it all. So
she would probably know.
And oh, by the way, guess who was right up to his eyeballs in all of it?
Well, no new taxes.
George H.W. Bush.
Read my lips. No,
that name sounds familiar.
Yep. Yeah, it sounds familiar, doesn't it? Anyway. Yeah. All right. Also, there was another assassination that happened a little while later, and he was the vice president. who would have took over. Let's see.
Yeah.
I think it was Reagan.
Imagine
was that Reagan?
that.
Was
Yeah.
that Reagan? That was Reagan.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And after that, Reagan never was seen with a picture with H.W. Bush after that. And
yeah.
Reagan figured out that guy tried to get him killed. So he was no friend. They were no longer friends after that. Let's just say that. Anyway,
that would do it, though, wouldn't it? You know, that would do it.
Yes.
That would do it. That would make.
You tried to shoot me. I'm not your pal anymore.
Exactly.
I've got a bullet in my chest because of you. I'm not gonna give you a kiss on the cheek, okay? Unless it's to call you Fredo.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So all right, that's been Cryptids and Conspiracies. I think we're all caught up on that. This was supposed to be a cryptid week. Aliens considered being cryptids. Next week is supposed to be a conspiracy. So what do you guys want to hit next week?
There's so many.
I know.
There's so many. Let's see.
Well, the thing about it is I've been with all this stuff coming out, them going through the whole entire government and like showing kicking over all the rocks. We might be out of a show. We might be out of a show, man.
I know, right? Holy shit.
Oh, by the way, the bone guy from Alaska says that the Smithsonian who had his bones, like supposedly when he went to get his bones back, they dumped them all into East River. So Smithsonian again.
Nice.
So that just happened. All this stuff that we're bringing to you guys is still ongoing.
Yes.
Anyway,
Smithsonian, a freaking
them
underhanded evil
organization. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
All righty, gentlemen. We will come up with something in the course of the week, and we'll let you know by next Saturday night. Same cryptid time, same conspiracy channel. The truth here on Cryptids and Conspiracies. The truth is in the middle, and we will see you next week.
Bye everybody.
Well, have a good night, everybody. And
hit the button.
I'm hitting the button.